The Galactic Military Academy on Kepler Prime had seen many species trained together over the centuries. Zephyrians with their crystalline exoskeletons, Mortakians with their 3 hearts, and the gas-breathing Vorthak had all learned to fight, side by side. But humans? They were still an anomaly that made the instructors nervous. Lisa Chen stood at attention in Formation Block C, her dark hair pulled back in regulation style, brown eyes fixed straight ahead. Beside her, William Torres maintained the same rigid posture, though she could see the slight tremor in his jaw that meant he was grinding his teeth. The morning drill had been particularly brutal, and their Krathari drill sergeant, Vex Tar, seemed to have developed a personal vendetta against the human contingent. Vex Tar stood 8 feet tall, his chitinous armor gleaming under the artificial suns of the training complex. His forearms moved independently as he stalked between the cadets, his mandibles clicking in the rhythm that every species had learned meant displeasure. The Krathari were known throughout the galaxy as the perfect soldiers, disciplined, ruthless, and utterly without mercy for weakness. Pathetic mammals. Vex Tar's translated voice crackled through the universal communicators. Your species thinks it can join the Galactic Defense Force? You're soft, weak. Your bones break like dried vegetation. Lisa felt William's tension spike beside her, but she kept her eyes forward. They'd been warned about this. Humans were new to the galactic community, having only achieved faster-than-light travel 50 years ago. Many of the established species saw them as upstarts, trying to punch above their weight class. Vextar stopped directly in front of Lisa, his compound eyes reflecting her image in 1,000 fragments. You, mammal. Your combat scores are adequate, but your species lacks the instinctual aggression necessary for true warfare. You hesitate, you feel. He spat the last word like it was poison. Sir, respectfully, humans have been at war with each other for thousands of years, Lisa replied, keeping her voice level. We know aggression. The formation went dead silent. Even the ever-present hum of the facility's systems seemed to pause. No one contradicted a Krathari drill sergeant. Vextar's mandibles spread wide, what passed for a smile among his kind, though it looked more like a threat display. Is that so, soft skin? Then perhaps you need a demonstration of what real aggression looks like. The blow came without warning. Vextar's lower right arm swept across in a backhanded strike that would have shattered the ribs of most species. But Lisa had been raised in Chicago's South Side before joining the academy, and her reflexes were honed by years of martial arts training that started when she was 6 years old. Her body moved without conscious thought. As the chitinous arm whistled toward her, Lisa's left elbow snapped up in a textbook defensive maneuver, intercepting the strike. The sound of the impact echoed across the training ground, a sharp crack that made every cadet wince. But it wasn't Lisa who stumbled backward. Vexitar's arm hung at an odd angle, a hairline fracture visible in his supposedly impenetrable natural armor. The drill sergeant stared at his damaged limb in what could only be described as shock, his other 3 arms trembling slightly. Impossible, he whispered, his translator barely picking up the sound. William stepped forward slightly, his voice carrying across the silent formation. Sir, human bones have a tensile strength of about 150 megapascals. Our muscle density is adapted for a high-gravity world. We're built for impact. Lisa remained at attention, though her elbow throbbed. She could feel the eyes of 200 cadets from 30 different species boring into her. Sir, I believe you were demonstrating aggression. In human culture, we have a saying, don't start a fight you're not prepared to finish. The silence stretched on for what felt like hours. Then, somewhere in the formation, a Zephyrian cadet began a slow rhythmic tapping of their crystalline fingers against their armor, their species equivalent of applause. It was picked up by a Mortakian, then a Vorthak, until the entire formation was creating a symphony of approval that transcended species barriers. Vextar looked around at his cadets, then back at Lisa. Slowly, deliberately, he raised his uninjured arms in the Krathari salute of respect. It appears, he said, his voice carrying a note of something that might have been admiration, that I have underestimated the defensive capabilities of your species. Sir, Lisa replied, snapping her own salute, Humans don't just defend, we adapt. Later that evening, in the Academy's medical bay, Lisa sat with her elbow in a healing field while William paced nearby. Through the large viewport, they could see the distant glow of the galactic core, where billions of species lived and worked together. The whole galaxy's going to hear about this, William said, running a hand through his dark hair. A human, Cadet breaking a Krathari drill sergeant's arm in self-defense. They'll either respect us or fear us. Lisa flexed her fingers, testing the healing. Maybe both. And maybe that's not such a bad thing. On her personal communicator, messages were already flooding in from Earth, from other human cadets across the galaxy, and even from alien species she'd never heard of. The footage, because there was always footage in a military academy, was spreading faster than light itself through the galactic networks. But the message that made her smile came from an unexpected source, Vextar himself. It was simple, written in the formal style of Krathari military correspondence. Cadet Chen, your elbow technique requires refinement. Report to advanced combat. Training tomorrow at 0600. Do not disappoint me again by holding back. Lisa looked up at William, then out at the stars that represented their new frontier. Humanity had just announced itself to the galaxy in a way that no diplomatic mission or trade agreement ever could. They'd shown that they weren't just another species looking for protection. They were partners who could hold their own in any fight. Think they'll ever underestimate humans again? William asked. Lisa stood, rolling her shoulder and testing her range of motion. The healing field had done its work, but she could still feel the ghost of the impact that had changed everything. Let them try, she said with a grin that would have made any Krathari proud. They'll find out that when you hit a human, we hit back harder. The galaxy was watching now, and humanity had just shown them that Earth's children were ready for whatever the universe could throw at them.